Hey, Dan Clan, welcome back. It's Wednesday, December 20th, and we're looking at week 16 of the NFL season. And hey, Christmas is Monday, so uh, what a week 16 it's going to be. Uh, and wow, Monday is looking, Christmas is looking very footballish, a white football Christmas. So, but before we get to all that, let's go recap just a little bit. Week 15. In week 15, I went 13-3. My personal best for the season brings me up to my season total to 148-77. And there was a couple of surprises last week. I mean, I personally didn't see the Giants go out and beating the Saints. That happened. Boy, Danny called me or Tommy called me Danny DeVito. Boy, he's on a run right now, isn't he? He's on a run, and good for him. We'll see how long it lasts for the Giants, well, just ride it as long as you can. Not going to get them into the playoffs, but it's a fun watch, and they can have a good time with it. Other than that, well, Carolina, pulling out their second win against the division rival Atlanta Falcons. Boy, what's up with Atlanta? Well, they need help. Desmond Ridder doesn't look like he's the guy to take him to the next level. But only time will tell. But at the moment, struggling. So that is what that is at the moment. And let's see. Oh boy, that Cowboys Buffalo Bills game. I had a feeling that I was hoping that Dallas would win. Was hoping that they would start changing their own narrative. They were completely unprepared, and Buffalo steamrolled them. I mean, literally, it was crazy. You were hoping for a competitive game. Dallas, a completely different team away from home thus far, and it's going to be interesting this weekend to see what they do. But yeah, Buffalo looked like rock stars. They could have had They could have had almost 1 million yards on the ground, and it almost seemed like they did. But yeah, that was wow. Then let's see. Oh boy, that Philly Seattle Monday night game. And of course, nobody that I'm aware of knew that Matt Patricia was going to be the DC for Philly, calling the plays on defense, and that would catch you by storm, catch you off guard. If I had known that Matt Patricia was doing DC stuff, much less calling plays for the Philly defense, I would have taken the Seahawks, because that's just how good of a DC he is. He's just as good of a DC as he was a head coach. Yeah, not so much. So, boy, I just can't look at Philly the same way as far as their aspirations to get back to a Super Bowl at this moment. Can Matt Patricia's going to have to pull a rabbit out of his hat and change the narrative of how he's looked at, because I don't see him having any credibility. I don't know what he's doing on that sideline calling plays for a team that's, was in the Super Bowl last year and has aspirations to go back. And so that's a big question mark, and I think a detriment that they're going to have to overcome. But that's my opinion. That's my take on it. Matt Patricia, not good. Eagles, come on, man. It's a shaking my head emoji. So, best of luck. Hope you get it figured out, but I think you gave yourself a minus for par there. Not that I'm big on golf, but anyhow, moving on to week 16, starting tomorrow night, and this is going to be a good one. New Orleans Saints at the LA Rams, and oh boy, The Rams, they have become the sneaky. Sneaky is not really the right word. What is the right word or phrase is, I knew they were going to be better and get better as the season went along, with their head coach and their core players, with Stafford and Kupp and Donald. You've got to, you're going to figure it out and you're going to get better. So with those elements, I knew that there wasn't going to be, last year, yeah, Super Bowl hangover. Fine, it happens. More often than not, it happens. But these guys are, there's an elite coach, a quarterback that is, hey, Matt Stafford's a Super Bowl champion. Enough said. And to many people, they become sneaky good. And I get it. I figured this was going to happen. And so now, the Rams are currently in a playoff spot, and I look for them to keep it. And they're going to be one of those few teams that nobody wants to see in the playoffs, because they're peaking at the right time, and they are that good, and they're just going to continue to get better. Will they make a Super Bowl? Once you're in the tournament, let's see what happens and find out. And so I'm going to take the Rams over New Orleans Saints at home tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football. And then on Saturday we've got two games. 1:30 p.m. Pacific time game, Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers still have their issues at quarterback, no Pickett. And so Cincinnati, they've rallied around their guy, and forgive me, his name escapes me at this moment, but he's showing up, he's showing out, and the Bengals are in a position where they're going to make a run at least at a playoff spot. And if they fall short, it's not going to be by very much. But I'm taking the Bengals over the Steelers in Pittsburgh. And then from there, there's the 5 p.m. game, Buffalo Bills at the Chargers. And, you don't really need to go into that too much. The Bills are still, they got tons of momentum after pounding Dallas. And they're on their own winning streak. And the Chargers, they let Staley go, and they let, and rightfully so. I hate to say it about anybody. You don't want to see anybody lose their job. But although he's just not the right guy for that job. He's probably better suited, at least at this spot in his life, for being a coordinator. So go back to DC. He did a great job for the Rams as their DC. And after some time, he very well could be ready to handle a head coaching position again. And I wouldn't have any issue with him being a head coach, but I think he needs some more experience. But beyond that, so needless to say, I'm taking the Bills over the Chargers Saturday evening. And then from there, Christmas Eve, the 10 a.m. slot of games, 10 a.m. on the West Coast anyway. Got the Washington, we used to be called Redskins, at the New York Jets, and I'm not even going to go into the Aaron Rodgers. I've been activated, and I'm on the 53-man roster, although he's not going to play. I feel bad for the guy who got bumped on the team now is not going to get a game check, so that Aaron Rodgers can, do Aaron Rodgers stuff. But he's not going to play, so that's their thing. That's their issue to deal with. This was a tough game to call because neither team is doing very well at all. But I'm gonna take Washington over the Jets, who seem to have just a little bit more chaos going on their side of things. So Washington over the Jets. And then from there, division rival game, the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. And We know the Vikings are having their own quarterback issues, but they've got some good points going on to the running back, and so I'm going to take the Lions on the road at Minnesota. Then from there, Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans, and boy, both of these teams are going to just slug it out the best they can. No C.J. Stroud, but and that does make a difference, and I'm sure we all know that. I'm going to take the Browns on the road at Houston. Then from there, the Green Bay Packers at the Carolina Panthers. Carolina, I know you're having a good time, and rightfully so. You pulled out a win, good for you. And Green Bay's coming to town, and they're coming off a loss. So on this occasion, I'm going to give the win to Green Bay, taking the Packers over the Panthers in Carolina. Then from there, the Seattle Seahawks and the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to take the Seahawks to ride the momentum off of their win Monday night against Philadelphia. They're going to take that momentum on the road, and I think they'll be able to muster enough up to beat Tennessee, they should be able to beat Tennessee. Tennessee's having their own issues. They're struggling. So Seattle on the road over Tennessee. And then from there, the Indianapolis Colts at the Atlanta Falcons. Indianapolis has been a pleasant surpriser. They're pulling it together with Gardner Minshew, and they look like they could very, very likely claim a playoff spot. It ain't gonna be easy, but they believe they can do it with a little help, and so I'm gonna take the Colts over the Falcons. And then beginning the afternoon slate of games, the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Jaguars are struggling. In my own opinion, I believe that Trevor Lawrence should have missed one game anyway, but he didn't. And the Jags are struggling, and their defense is not looking as good as you would hope to think that it should be. And Tampa Bay, they're at the top of their division. They've got momentum. They're at home, and it could go either way. Jacksonville could get ultra focused, but on this occasion, I'm going to take Tampa Bay over Jacksonville at home. And then what I think is going to be looks like it's going to be the America's Game of the Week again. Here comes the Dallas Cowboys again against the Miami Dolphins at Miami. We've got an interesting dynamic here. The Cowboys, who haven't beaten, and I'll get to this, and I know the thing here, so be patient, please. So the Cowboys haven't beaten a team with a winning record, and I'm not exactly counting the Eagles and Seattle for one reason, and I'll get to that. But Dallas got trounced by San Francisco. They got beat down by the Bills. They're in this, and I said last week, and it's continuing on. This is that game stretch at the end of the season where Dallas can change their own narrative and say that these are not the Cowboys of old. This is a different dynamic of a team. But they didn't prove it to any degree at all this last week with Buffalo. They've got another opportunity here against Miami in Miami. And here's the catch there. Miami also hasn't beaten anybody with a winning record. Dallas, they beat Philadelphia this last time, and they beat Seattle a week or so before that. Also a winning record. But Seattle was struggling to a degree, but still struggling. And Philadelphia, well, who knows you better than your division rival? So in a way, those 2 points just kind of negate two teams that have winning records for those reasons. One was struggling, and the other, being Philly, it's your division rival. They beat you before. I mean, it's pretty common for teams to split a season series, and Philly was on the, they're running a gauntlet, and they just weren't themselves, and and haven't been. So on those counts, that's why I'm just counting those two games. So Dallas again, still exactly. I mean, technically, yes, they have beaten teams with a winning record, but realistically, they haven't beat a team with a winning record outside of their division or a team that they should have beaten anyway. And and those teams were both at home. Dallas is a different team on the road for some reason, and I don't know why. They don't know why, but it is up to them to figure that out. Coach McCarthy, it's up to him to figure that out. That's your job. So, and Miami haven't played anybody and beat a team with a winning record. So I should take Dallas because they are, they come off a loss and they're I believe it's 9-0 since 21, coming off of a loss, but they're on the road, and Miami does have a winning record, and they are explosive. And so I'm going to go against the grain and take Miami over Dallas. Something's got to give. Something has got to give. One team finally has that one opportunity up to this point in the season to get a win against a team with a winning record. And I'm taking Miami mainly because they're at home. But Dallas, it's a show me opportunity. And so far they haven't done it. They haven't proved it. It's their proving ground. It's not looking good yet. They've still got time though. But for right now, Miami over Dallas. I'd like to see Dallas prove me wrong. Let's hope for that. Been around the Cowboys for better than 45 years as a fan of theirs, and I would like to see them prove this old fan wrong. So, Miami over Dallas. And with that, going on to the last game of the afternoon, Arizona Cardinals at the Chicago Bears. Not a lot going on there. Both teams are struggling. Both teams have dynamic quarterbacks that are mobile and can throw a ball. And if it was being played in Arizona, I'd probably take Arizona just because they're at home. But they're in Chicago. Their defense plays better in Chicago. And they've, Justin Fields, he doesn't even know if he's going to be the starting quarterback for Chicago next year or not. But he's got to put some game tape together for his next possible suitor. And so he's got to audition. And he knows that. And so I'm going to take the Bears at home over the Cardinals. And then Sunday night, New England Patriots at the Denver Broncos. And not going to go into the Sean Payton on the sideline incident, between coach and player thing with Russell Wilson. That's between them to figure out whatever all that was and fix it and move on. That's their own business. So I'm going to take the Broncos at home over New England. And the Denver defense, they're not bad at all. They're not too shabby at all. And Russell Wilson, he's going to have 2 or 3, epic plays a game. And I believe they're going to move the ball. And of course, the Patriots defense likes to take your best thing away from you. So we'll see how that works out. Should be a good game, but in the end, I'm giving it to Denver. And then that's Christmas Eve. And then lo and behold, wow, 3 games on Christmas Day? I can't remember anything like that before. If it was last year, then my memory's just that bad, but I don't recall that in any kind of recent memory. 3 games feels like a Sunday on a Monday. Just happens to be Christmas Day. Holy cats. So, we got a game on CBS, got a game on Fox, and a game on ABC. So, the morning game, 10 a.m. game, Pacific time, on CBS, the Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. Good opportunity for Kansas City to start building a little momentum and working on securing a playoff spot and securing the division. And so I'm going to take the Chiefs over the reeling Raiders. No pun intended, but their whole coaching and thing, and maybe this new guy becomes the head coach, but they've got a whole lot of in-house things to fix. So I'm going to take Kansas City over their division rival Raiders at home. And so from there, the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the New York Giants. A good game that Philadelphia can use to also start building some momentum towards the playoffs. Yes, they're already in the playoffs, and it's a good opportunity for them to start building some momentum and start hammering out and crossing your fingers and hoping that you can make Matt Patricia work on the defensive side of the ball. Best of luck. I mean that with 100% genuineness. Good luck. But I'm going to take Philly in the 1:30 p.m. slot against the Giants. Eagles win at home. And then from there, the evening game, 5:15 kickoff on ABC. Here we go, the big game of the week. Possible preview for a Super Bowl matchup, Baltimore Ravens at the San Francisco 49ers. Arguably, I mean, not too much of an argument right now. I don't think anybody's going to really too much argue that these two teams are the two very best teams as far as the AFC and the NFC are considered right now. It is literally like it could be, the same thing in early February where you see these two teams match up again. Being played in San Francisco, both teams are rolling hard, and they're just playing lights out football. The Ravens, they had their issues with the Rams here not too long ago, and they escaped with a win there, and they know that too. But a win is still a win, and the Ravens could go into San Francisco and beat San Francisco. That's true. If they can. San Francisco is also very capable of beating Baltimore. So if it was being played in Baltimore, I think you know where this is going. I'd probably take the Ravens. But on this occasion, since it's being played in San Francisco, I'm going to take the 49ers over Baltimore today. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes into overtime. Ironic, but it's possible. And it wouldn't be a shocker. We could even see a tie here. I doubt it, but it's possible. And these two teams match up, I would say, very well against each other. It's been said multiple times that the 49ers have the best roster period in the league. But at the same time, these two teams they're very well matched. It could go either way, and I wouldn't be surprised. It's not going to be a surprise with whoever comes out on top in the end. But I'm going to take San Francisco today. In a close one. This is going to be a close, hard-fought game, and let's hope for no injuries. And so with that brings a conclusion to Week 16 of this season. So I'd like to see what your picks are, whatever comments you'd have. Please put them down in the comment section below. Have a very Merry Christmas. Have a safe and happy holiday. Merry Christmas to everybody. Go Chiefs. And thanks for hanging out with me. Take care. Bye-bye.